Thank you very much. Fantastic to see you all here, and thanks for coming. It's always a lot of work to put these things together. I've been with the Chamber now for 10 months. This is my first Impact conference. Really looking forward to a full packed day of content, and we have some fantastic speakers. Also want to welcome His Excellency here. We have distinguished speakers, we have guests, we have members, we have some non-members, and of course we have the SSC teams for all the non-members that needs to sign up. Back in the 90s, Sweden implemented a carbon tax. Early 90s, and then accelerated it through the 90s and accelerated through till now. Around the same time, the pension funds back home in Sweden also signed up to the United Nations environmental principles. And I think it's started to put focus on a long-term strategy around sustainability for many of the Swedish and Nordic corporates. Since then, fast forward 30 years, Sweden's GDP has almost doubled. And our emissions have almost halved. It's doable, and it's good business. And that's what we want to showcase here today. The science is clear. Inaction is not an option. Last week, UK decided to do a detour from the net zero targets. I'm going to leave it to the room here today in the audience to decide the merits of that. But all I want to say is that the UK GDP has already fallen behind over the last few years. And taking a detour is rarely the best way to catch up. Today, we have a full room of policy and corporate decision makers. The timing could hardly be better. We're going to point out the problems, and we're going to find some solutions. We have a lot of solutions here today as well with the corporates. I'm going to say something before I introduce the Masters of Ceremonies and moderators about the Swedish Chamber. It's 117 years in the making. We have a very proud history. Today we are 450 members, consistently growing. We have space for more. We want to be the ultimate platform and meeting place for Swedish business and UK business relationships. And we have a great focus on people culture, tech innovation, and of course, sustainability. And I think in all three areas, Sweden is a world leader, and we're very proud of that. We are a non-for-profit, so it's extremely important that we have, and I'm very grateful that we have today's sponsors, SEB, H&M, SSAB, we have Warneryd, we have LKAB, we have Chin-Ups and Wastefront. Thank you very much. I also want to point out Skanska as our strategic sustainability partner for the year 2023. And I want to come into our Masters of Ceremony. We have Hannah Grahn, Spotify, former sustainability expert at EQT. EQT, of course, got its own net zero targets, 2030. And of course, a master of leveraging its platform to educate and inspire people on the subject as well. Nick Gowing, dear friend of the Chamber for many years now, 18 years as the main presenter at the World BBC News. 4 decades as diplomacy in security, and I think your intense focus on the climate crisis also stems from that. The greatest challenge of them all, of course. In 2018, Nick released his book, Thinking the Unthinkable, and I think it teaches us to survive, adapt, and thrive in times of unprecedented change that we're facing. So I'm going to leave the stage to you, and thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.